Yes, it's a very new big show. This is called Racial Education and its Classes. This show is the truth of human life. It's a fact of human life. That race plays a big part of education. And it shouldn't, but it does. It plays a humongous part of education. The schools I've gone into, the school neighborhoods I've seen, neighborhoods I've been in, the schools are pits and dumps, and they're poorly undermanned. Some of them don't even have computers. Technology-wise, they're 20 years out of date. Safety-wise, they're out of date. These are in rough neighborhoods, man. These are in rough, hard-hitting neighborhoods. These schools are so beaten and so abused that it's not pitiful. Some of the ceiling tiles are hanging from the school things. Some of them don't have any heat. Some of them don't have... I mean, this is just ridiculous. To act like they can't, or they don't know that these schools are pits. This is the 7 billion human being news. This is the truth of human life. A lot of these schools in this country are just pits. They're dumps, they're dives, they're just pits. Kids go to school in fear of their life. Kids go to school in fear of bullying. Kids go to school in fear of life. They're taking recess. Come on, who are you trying to con? I mean, they make these videos. They make these videos and they say, well, now we can identify. Yeah, I can identify all of it. I don't even need, I don't need a survey. I can tell you the truth of what hell holds or what hell holds. Harlem, New York, any place that's a small town, any place that's a little school, it's dumb. This is the truth of human life. This is the fact of human life. This is what I fight to change. This is what I fight to change. Equal education for all people. I decided to do my show here instead of from Google. But this is the truth. They can afford equal education for all people in this country. They can afford education for teachers without borders. You need education is the biggest part of this world. Education is the part of this. Education is the biggest part of terrorism, biggest part of ending terrorism. Knowledge is power. Knowledge and education is power. That's the truth of human life. That's the fact of human life. This is the truth of human life. You can't stop terrorism, but you educate the people against the lies that are being educated, that are being pounded in their head. Education is a big part of this world. There are people that can't read or write. There are people that can't go to school. There are people that are left behind here that don't go to school. There are 17 million hungry children in this world. This is the 7 billion human being show. This is to say that they didn't know that these schools were dumps is just political lies. That's all it is. Political process. We're going to fix it all. You can't judge equally education, black to white to Chinese to whatever the hell it is, because most of the schools are slums, or pits, or dumps, or dives. There are people in the world that can't even read and write. There are women in the world that can't read and write because they can't go to school. This is the human truth. This is the human fact. This is the human show. This is the 7 billion human being show. Now done through Google by video. That's the human truth of human life. I've been doing shows through Google. I can't do it. Let's do it here. Let's do it here and see how it does. But this is the human truth. They know that there's a lack of education in the world. You got half of Africa can't read or write. You got parts of Asia that can't read or write. Why do you think they use slave labor? Why do you think they have people doing slave labor? Why do you think they smuggle people into this country? Because half of them can't read or write or know their name. This is the problem with human life. Education. Lack of education, lack of care, lack of humanity, lack of human rights, and poverty. Poverty is the biggest part. If you live in a poverty neighborhood, your school's a shithole. If you live in a poverty country, you don't get education. This is the human truth of human life. This is the human fact of human life. This is the human reality of human life. If you live in poor countries, you don't get educated. If you live in the Middle East, you're a woman, you can't get educated, or they blow your brains out like they did Mara. They shot her in the neck, the Taliban. What do you want? You can't go to school with threats and bullying and shootings and killings and slaughter and butcher and torture, and they rape women for punishment for wanting human rights. Where does it end? Where does it end? Where does it end? Education and poverty go hand in hand. They go like this. Education and poverty go hand in hand. As long as you continue to feed the poverty, you're going to continue to feed the uneducation. Because people can't afford to send their children to school in decent clothes or decent. It's ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. For this guy to get on this tube and say now they can do a survey and know where all the uneducated people are. There are uneducated people in Syria. Why do you think people are at risk in Syria? This is the 7 billion human being show. Education and poverty go hand in hand. This is the 7 billion human being. Thank you for watching.